Hello and good morning. It's Phil Thatch and I'm here today at the Chickamauga Dam. It is early April and there is some osprey activity here, so I'm going to I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to use. I brought my R6 Mark II and my R7, and I brought the 800 and the 100 to 500 and the 1.4 extender. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to use, but I'm going to try to get some osprey shots. So far I've seen a couple flying around, nothing really close, but I'm going to head down to the fishing pier and get started. As I'm heading down to the fishing pier, I do see 3 or 4 osprey flying around, and they're a little bit closer here to the fishing pier than they were to where I was up the hill. So hopefully I'll be able to get some shots. It's really early, it's just a few minutes past sunrise, but the sun angle should be fairly good. A little overcast though, so we'll see when it brightens up if I'm able to get anything. Look, there goes one right there. Well, I've started off using the R6 Mark II and the 800 f11, and the 800 f11 might not be the best choice this morning because there's just not a lot of light, and f11 really restricts you. But the light's getting a little bit better as the morning progresses, and the siren went off, which means they're about to open the turbines. And when they did open the turbines, there was a lot of dead fish that got churned up in the turbines as it opened up. And everybody was landing near the far turbine area. When I say everybody, I mean the osprey were landing over there. Even the Great Blue Heron were diving down and getting, I don't know if they were dead fish or just shocked fish. But anyway, everybody had kind of a feast, and then nothing happened for a while. And now the light's finally starting to come up, and hopefully I'll get some shots. I'm shooting manual because sometimes my background is the railroad bridge and the coffer dam over there where they're working on the lock, and other times my background is the sky, and that'd be a lot of adjusting of exposure compensation. So I'm kind of just exposing for the bird, and a lot of times I'll expose for the bird and blow the sky completely out. Or historically that's the way I've shot, but today I'm trying to keep at least some detail in the sky, which means I'll probably have to definitely brighten the bird up in post-processing. But I don't know, maybe I've gotten to where I don't like a completely white background like I used to. Here are all the photographs that I made from the fishing pier. The first one is an osprey that was flying really close to the water with its talons dangling. And I wasn't really happy with my osprey photography this morning. It just wasn't enough light. Oh, look, here's a double-crested cormorant that has a fish. And believe it or not, it swallowed that fish whole. It looks like the fish is almost as big as it is. Here is a great blue heron on the dam. Look how huge the concrete structure of the dam is. And this is just a small portion of it. And the great blue heron was standing there waiting for some fish. Here's another osprey in flight shot, and you can see the sky is not completely blown out, which is kind of how I used to do this sort of a shot. I left some detail in the sky, which meant that I had to brighten the bird up quite a bit. Here's one of my favorite shots of the day, a great blue heron in flight, just absolutely beautiful. It's possible that the great blue heron was the bird of the day. I'm changing locations now. All the way from the fishing pier, I could see way down the river past the railroad bridge. There's what looks like 3 great egret down there, which is very common in Florida, but you don't see them around here too much. So I think I'm going to go down there and make a picture of them, and anything else I find down that way. I'm down here now just a little bit downriver from the railroad bridge, and they're making a new dock here. So they've got this crane and barge and all this stuff where they're working on the dock, and there was a black vulture on the railing of that yellow ramp that goes onto the barge, and I got a picture of it. This is the black vulture there on the railing. This is the smaller of the 2 vultures that we commonly see in my area in and around Chattanooga, Tennessee, the black vulture. The great egret are up here in this area where I'm walking. The water's really way down. The area where I'm walking right now is quite often underwater, but right now the water's really down, so I'm able to walk around here. Really close to me is 2 huge turkey vultures, much bigger than a black vulture, and oh, they're just now starting to act like they might be spooked. So I'm going to turn this camera off and get a shot of them real quick and then see if I can get close enough to get the egret. Well, I really enjoyed photographing those turkey vultures, and I was able to get crazy close. I even had to back up some to get the whole bird in the frame. It's really slick on these rocks. And so I got that shot. Here is the turkey vulture, just an amazing bird. These things can have up to a 6-foot wingspan, and I was happy to get a photograph of this one. There was another one beside it, but I concentrated on this one. And then I tried to concentrate some on the great egret, which were a little further away, and I think I may have gotten one shot, and then I spooked them. Here is a photograph of one of the great egrets that was there, and the great egret's not quite as big as a great blue heron, but it is really large, larger than the other white egrets that you see in North America. Now, much more common here is the great blue heron, and I got some shots of this great blue heron that's fishing right here that I really like. And right now I'm actually scooting further away, and these rocks come a little further out. I'm going to try to get really down low and get some shots of this beautiful great blue heron while it's fishing this morning. This was a particularly attractive great blue heron. I thought its plumage was in really nice shape. It's not breeding plumage just yet, but it still looked really nice. And I made this photograph of it about to strike. And then this one I shared on social media. So if you follow me on Vero or Instagram, you may have already seen this photograph. But the beautiful great blue heron was fun to take pictures of this morning. I'm hearing and seeing a lot of red-winged blackbirds a little further up here. And I was going to try to wander up the beach and get a photograph of them, and then I heard some drumming, and right through this little thicket on the furthest back little tree there was a male downy woodpecker. And man, it's a challenge on a cloudy day shooting with a lens that has a maximum aperture of f11, but I think I got a shot of it that might be presentable. Here is that downy woodpecker photograph that I described in the last clip, and what a beautiful little woodpecker it is. I'm always thrilled to get a photograph of a woodpecker, and we get these in our back porch studio sometimes. This is a Rusty Blackbird. I haven't made many photographs of these. I thought when I was making the shot that I was making a photo of a common grackle, but instead it's the Rusty Blackbird, and I never got a red-winged blackbird. This is the black vulture. I got one more shot of the black vulture. Just a beautiful bird, and then I changed locations. I'm hanging around now on the Tennessee River Park River Walk in the area right behind Chattanooga State. Got the Tennessee River on this side, Chattanooga State's community college campus is on that side, and right here along this path there's often birds. Wait a minute, that's not a bird, that's a squirrel, but I thought it was so cute there and the flowery grass, so I made this photograph of this squirrel, and here is another squirrel that was finding something to munch on. There are many, many squirrels there near Chattanooga State, and this is a yellow-rumped warbler. Really happy to see it. Looks like it got a little bit wet before I made its photograph, but a yellow-rumped warbler, and we're going to be doing some warbler photography really soon, and I just love the way this shot turned out of this Carolina Chickadee. It landed on a branch that just had a beautiful background, and I was very happy to make this photograph. I ended up using the R6 Mark II and the 800 f11 exclusively today, and you know, that's a pretty good combination. I think today with this 100% overcast sky, I probably would have done better with the R7 and the 100 to 500 just because f11 versus f7.1. But you know, before the R7 came out, I used the R6 and the 800 f11 as my bird rig for quite some time, and it always worked well. And with the R6 Mark II, I've got 4 more megapixels, so it was a good exercise today to go back to the 800 f11 as my bird lens, and I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you like the content. I'm going to call it a day from here at the Chickamauga Dam and Tennessee River Park area. Bye-bye.